Hi, welcome back to Angular April. This is Karen and it's day 6. Actually, it's April 10th, so I'm getting way behind on this, but I promise it will be done by August. Today we're going to be doing some of the same things that we've been doing before, but instead of having our data pass through the tag for the component, we're going to try passing some data through the routing link. So we're actually going to put it in the link, and then the component's going to catch that data. And that is another way to do it. There are some notes here. It's a little bit more complicated than what we've been doing. So there's a little bit of instructions here on the web page if you need to copy and paste or refer back. And I've highlighted the things. Sometimes we have a line already and we only need to add just a little bit to the line. That's what the highlights are for. So take a look at our website. This is an imaginary community for job hunters who are trying to find their first job, maybe their first job in tech, or change careers and just get their foot in the door someplace. See, I came up with a creative name. It took me several days, but I finally did it. Anyway, today we have a profile. If we click on this, we want to come up to your profile. Well, you're going to have a list of friends. You can click on a friend's name, have it come up to the friend's profile. That's where the link passing the data to the component comes in, because we want the friend's name from our link to then populate the profile page. Same thing with the followers. There'll be a list of followers that you can click on and see their profile. The timeline is going to be a little bit more standard. We're just going to show status type things, and in the form we're going to show a link, links to posts, and then detail on the post. All right, so we're going to start out with a profile page. By creating a link here from this profile, it actually takes your name and shows your name as the default. So let's take a look at our list of steps here. First of all, we're going to go to the app module. We're going to import routes, and we're going to modify our path a little bit so it includes the name. And that is over here, module TS. It's also, if you haven't got it open already, down here at the very bottom, because it's one of our outside components. It applies to our whole thing. And here in the router module, we're just going to add routes. And that imports it from the Angular router. And it allows our component to understand when we say profile /:name, what this /:name is trying to do. So we'll save that. And we will change tabs if it will let me. Okay. Running a little bit slow today. I think that Windows wants to update and I haven't let it yet. Now we're going to go into the component TS file, and this is for the component that you're working with. So if you're working with a profile, it's the profile.component.ts. If you're working, let's say, with the day detail from our first day with the calendar, it's going to be the day detail.component.ts. So for the component that you're working on, we want to import this route, this activated route. We're going to add a detail to our class, and then we're going to add this constructor. I'm going to come back and copy this constructor because that's a lot of stuff that I can spell wrong. Anyway, we are in, not project 1, we're in project 4, and the profile component. So here underneath the import for the component and on the on init, we're not doing the input this time. We're going to import the activated route from the Angular router. And then down here in the class, we're going to add our details, or in this case, our name. And we'll just have it equal to a blank string by default. We don't need to put anything in there yet. And then for the constructor, we want to do this private route, activated route. And we put that right here in the parentheses by constructor. And that sends it that activated route so it will know. And then we've got to get the information out of that activated route. And that's what this line does. So this route param subscribe. and then in parentheses, params and arrow function, this detail equals params detail. Only it's not detail, in this case it's name. So we change detail to name, or whatever you name your parameter. We should be able to pass in multiple parameters as well. In which case you would probably have multiple lines here and multiple lines here. But to keep this simple, we're just going to do one. Okay, so that is our components TS. Then we have to add our detail tag to our component. So instead of my profile, we'll have a tag that says name. We have our curly braces, name, and closing curly braces. Save that. And then from our app component, where we have this button for profile, we have a router link. We're going to put this in brackets, the router link, and then we're going to put inside the quotes brackets, and then we're going to put a single quote around profile. And a comma, and the name that we want to pass it. So by default, this profile is going to be your own profile. So go ahead and put your own name in single quotes and save that. Alrighty, so this should get us our profile. So we click on profile. Wow, there it is. Your name should show up. We want to do a list of friends, where we can click on the list of friends and it'll take us to that profile page with their name. Went ahead and typed that out ahead of time. Just copy that over here, and we'll go to our friends component, and in this list, oops, I would like that not to be tabbed quite so far over. Okay, so now each of these has the router link in brackets, and then we have the profile. This is an array. It has got our route, and then it's got that piece of information that we're sending it, which happens to correspond with what we've called our link. Save that. Let it reload our friends page. And then we should be able to jump back and forth between all our friends. Now, of course, it would be nice to have maybe a picture or a bio, maybe the job the person's looking for. Could have somebody's whole resume, given that this is supposed to be a job hunting site. So those are all some suggestions that you might want to work on to build this out and to just make it look better, just like we've been doing on some of the past pages. We're going to do followers very much the same. It's the same process. So let's grab this list. I'm just going to copy it and go up here to followers. And in the followers, we'll replace this paragraph with our list. And you probably want to update some names here so it's not all exactly the same people. We'll save that. Wait for it to load. Take a look at followers. Now we have followers, same names, same function. So once you have that set up, that last step of creating these links, you don't have to do anything else but create the links once you have the profile page set up to actually receive the routing and the information from the routing. Okay, so we've got those two. And we want to put our timeline, we want to make some kind of a status list on our timeline. Let's move these out of the way here. We'll do this the same way as we did yesterday. I'm going to create a status component. And I'm going to pass it a name. And a status. Okay, and we don't actually have a status component yet, so we need to create one. We are here in our workspace in Project 4, and to create a component, again, it's ngg component, and we name it status. That will build our status component for us. And we're going to want to do something along the lines of maybe an H4 with our name and a paragraph with our status. That. Save that. And we take a look in our status component TS file. And again, this is an input. We're not routing it, we're passing it with the tags for the component. So we want to put input here to import from Angular Core. We're not importing anything from Angular Route. After the selector, we need to put inputs and an array with square brackets and a comma. Okay, and then I want to tell it that it's going to get a name and it's going to get a status. Save that. It's not saved yet. Try to save this one again. There we go. Just keep saving it until it really saves. Are we still compiling? Compiled. And it is very possible that I forgot a step. It's one of the reasons that I repeat this as often as I do in hopes that with repetition, the forgetting will not happen as often. So we have these lovely error messages. App status is not a known element. Oh, look, I misspelled it. So I think the quickest way to fix that will be to go to the timeline and make my spelling here match. And there we go. We're at least get rid of our console there. Take a look at the timeline. There's a message from me. I'm saying I'm good. We can put a couple more statuses in here. I'll make one from Tasha that says, I'm ready to kill somebody. And let's make one from Captain Picard and it says engage. Or maybe make it so. There we go. And there's our timeline with a bunch of messages. Maybe not the best styling. Again, this is something that definitely is a thing that you can work on after the video's over. Or tomorrow we're going to have a review and catch-up day. So anything that you're falling behind on, day 7 is a day to kind of take a look at what the styling has turned into and play catch up a little bit. Maybe take some of these things like we're doing today with the routing and put it back on the earlier projects, or with passing the data with these tags here. We didn't do that on the first 2 projects, so it's a chance to go back and integrate some of these features into the previous projects as well. That takes care of the timeline. So the only thing we have left today is the forums. Is that true? I feel like we're zooming through this now, which is probably good. It must mean we know what we're doing. All right, so in the forum, we're going to want to have posts and probably like a title of the post, be able to click on the title of the post and get a detail of that. Oh, and look, I put the status in the wrong place too. I'm going to change before I do that again. Okay, so we've got our forum, we've got posts. So we could go ahead and do the app post right here. Actually, we could make a list. Let's go ahead and route this instead. So we'll borrow a line from our friends. Let's take this list right here. And instead of going to profile, we're going to go to post. And we're going to have 2 things here. I think we're going to want to have a title and a body. And we're going to put our title out here too. A couple of those. Maybe have a UL tag out here. Get this guy to line up. There we go. All right, so put a little chatter stuff here. All right, so there's some nice chatter for our. Of course, we haven't told the posts what to do with this stuff yet. And so it's not going anywhere. I click on it and nothing happens. Also, I forgot to change the titles to reflect our actual title. It's going to make it hard for people to know which post they want to read. Okay, so we've got our module set up already with the router. We have our routes, but we need to update our path. Where do our paths go? There they are. Okay, so we have a post. And we have title. And then we have a, what do we call that? Body. Okay. This is where it gets a little fuzzy. I haven't tried it with 2 yet, so I hope, I've got my fingers crossed, that this will work the first time, because I don't like having to redo the video and edit it. And I don't like making mistakes in front of everybody. So, all right, we've got our app module, and then we need to go into our post, and we need to tell the component that it's supposed to be getting some things. Import. This is our activated route. Comes from the Angular route. Okay, we do not need the inputs. We are going to need to at least initialize title and body. And then in the constructor, private route is activated route. And at this point, I am going to copy and paste. So we have private route, activated route. This route param subscribe. Okay, and we have a title, which is going to equal the params.title. And we have a body, which will equal the params body. Save that, and we'll take a look at the post HTML, which has absolutely nothing. Can that be so? No, there it is. All right, I didn't think it was nothing. We'll put the title up here where it says post and get my cursor in the right place, we'll put the title up here. Curly brackets, title, and the curly brackets. And for the paragraph, we will put the body. Save that. And wait for our page to think it's done loading. There we have a nice list. And we have our post. That easily. That takes care of everything for today. So have fun building this out. Do a little bit of styling. If you want to add some more features here, or if you want to go back to the previous days and try some routing there, there's definitely room for it. There's, especially those first two projects where we didn't pass any data between components. You can do it either way. You can think about your project and which makes most sense. What do you want to link it with a link, or do you just want to include the component inside of like a list of components as you go down? And that pretty much wraps it up. So that's it for Angular April Day 6. We have our website with all the notes that you can use if you need to refer back. We've got some more help in the Facebook group. We've got email address if you need to email me. You can leave comments under the video. I have no resources for today. I was not actually able to find a good resource for this one. There's a lot of stuff that we're going to learn next week about services, and most of the other tutorials that I've looked at actually do the services first and then they get into the routing. So it gets really tangled and confusing sometimes. I will probably post some links on more detailed routing when we actually have a service in place. So this is it for this week. Tomorrow's going to be a quick review of what the websites are supposed to be looking like. So if you're at a loss for ideas about what to make your website do, definitely check in tomorrow. We'll have some more completed websites to review, and if I come up with anything else that I've missed over the week, I may have another tip or two, although I think that at this point that's not very likely. Yeah, I think we pretty much covered the material I was hoping to get to this week, and even a couple of extra things that I wasn't planning on but fit, so there they are. And next week, starting on day 8, we will start getting into services and how to create services that basically what a service is it provides data to your site. So instead of doing this thing here where we have our friends and we write out every friend that we have and it's a link, we'll have a service that has a list of friends, and it'll go through and it'll loop through and write this for each friend. So we'll be doing some of that, some looping, bringing the data from the service. In weeks after that, we'll get into how to add and update the data, delete people virtually, delete them, not really delete them, and do some other cool styling and looping and branching type things, sorting and filtering our lists. So we're going to have a link for tomorrow. We're going to have a link to the whole playlist. We're going to have a link to one of the NG conferences talks. These are great talks, and I'm trying to link stuff that should make sense at this point. Today we're going to have, today I'm going to link a horribly long 2-hour video on material design. So if you would like to know how to do more than just what's right here in terms of styling with material design, that video should really be a big help. I recommend that you watch it. There's also a picture of me there. You can click on to subscribe to the channel so you will be notified when I come out with Day 7, just in case it's not tomorrow. Day 7 probably will be on time. Day 8, I'm keeping my fingers crossed for that one too. So do check out the videos, and I'll see you tomorrow.